today we'll be taking a look at a Phantom Blaster moderate Phantom variant against the Tachi player, which is a Gaia deck. So we do see the Shadow player going first, in this case which is me, and I do hit the moderate Phantom here. So I actually decided to keep the moderate Phantom in hand because I'm going to hit a chain right either way. So I'm going to discard the Abyssal over here instead, and we do see the Tachi player riding to the Prison Bird, getting his Grade 3 search as well, but misses the search, unfortunate for him. So Gaia deck is actually a very underrated deck in my opinion because the deck does explode quite fast, and with the multi-battle and the Gaia power up, it is quite it's very underrated in my opinion, and we do see him committing the Vicious Claw early game to actually push for damage. The card is pretty good in my opinion because the card does not actually give you any disadvantage of not playing it. Basically, once you play, you basically get the advantage guaranteed. So you do see me getting the Bandage Chain right off and Superior Riding to the Phantom Plus Dragon, and actually going for the Force 2 play here. Since I'm going first, the Force 2 should put enough pressure, but because I do not have Neyman in my opening hand, it's just going to be a simple Phantom Blaster Dragon swing, which swings into a draw trigger here, pushing 2 damage, but the Gaia player is pretty strong. He does open a heal trigger and a draw trigger on his end. We shall see how the Gaia player is going to play out his Grade 2 turn, which they do have quite a lot of plays. So we do see him riding into the Zealous Horn Dragon here, which is the new Grade 2 triple R from Tachikaze. So on counter blast 1, you can actually draw 1 and place 1 unit from your hand to the field, and then giving it 1 gauge. And we do see him committing the Blue Sprint, which is actually the Grade 1 rare, which is the extender for Tachikaze. So we do see him moving down the Vicious Claw there, and calling the Mega Rex here. So he's going to swing boosted, hitting a Prison Bird right there. See the Mega Rex. Mega Rex most likely going to use his skill to eat away the Blue Sprint to draw 1, and the Blue Sprint Dragon will proc, calling out 1 more Rear Guard, which will give him 1 gauge here, which is in this case another Vicious Claw. So very fortunate for him to actually even hit the Rear Guard, because most of the case we would see a trigger most likely be in the gauge. And we do see myself riding into the Phantom Blaster over here, going to another Force 2. So now, if opponent do not have any hand size, I would say, we will be able to see a very strong Force 2 push. But unfortunately, it's not enough. So we do see him, call the Lia 4 here, but I do not actually call the Neyman here, which I'm not sure why. Now looking back at this game, I actually went for the Kubao here, not sure why. And I do commit the Phantom Blast Dragon and the Band-Aid from hand pretty hard, because I do want to boost it and hitting for a 10k guard, which will not be easy to guard because he does have an intercept ready on the field. So I'm going to eat with the Phantom Blaster Overload here, which will allow him to choose what to retire, and in this case Vicious Claw is the perfect target for him to retire. So he's going to I'm going to use the Phantom Blaster Overload skill to actually call another Phantom Blaster Overload, but he's going to retire the Vicious Claw here with a Soul Blast 1. He gets back the gauge into hand. So effectively, I'm giving him hand shields while I'm just superior calling 1 more unit. So he does PG here, which actually stops my attack. I do get a critical trigger here, which I'll be pumping most likely to the Lia 4 here, because I do want both sides to hit for 2 damage here. And that's correct. So you'll be hitting for Phantom Blaster Blow, hitting for 23k. And the Lia 4 will be hitting for 28k, and he does eat 2 damage with no damage trigger there. So he's currently at 4, and the next turn will be the sort of the final turn to push, but we shall see how the Gaia play out here. So we do see him going to the Accel one here, which is actually pretty underrated marker now, because everyone is so focused on Accel 2, the draw, or for the draw mainly, but the thing is, the extra 5k power you get from the Accel 1 is actually so underrated, especially with Gaia, which give you additional 10k power anyway. We will be able to see him hitting very nice numbers. So he does call the Grade 3 Slicing Dragon here, and the Grade 2 Rare Extender, which is actually the Regiment Dragon here. So he does attack and then gives himself 1 gauge, and he's already hitting for a total of 29k, which is a 20k guard. Not funny at all. And now seeing the Mega Rex will be eating the Regiment Dragon here to draw 1 card, and with the Counter Blast 1, he will be able to give a gauge for himself and plus 5k for each gauge. In this case, you'll be hitting for 24k right away. And because of Regiment Dragon skill, you actually retire and he does call the Gaia Dragon, which is in the gauge, and it's actually a 32k beater here, which is adding another 20k guard required. And let me emphasize, in a game you do only have 4 heal trigger to work with, which is all the 20k issues. So we see him using the Gaia to eat the Grey Guard there to gain the crit, to open up circle, and he will be using the Slicing Dragon here to eat the Great One Blue Spring behind to actually draw one card and retire one of my Therefore there, and then Superior Calling with the Blue Spring. As you can see, so much extending through the Gaia turn, and every attack is hitting for 20k and above. No, actually at least 15k shields above, and that is very strong. He does push me to a corner and I already have 5 damage, and unfortunately I do not have the Model Phantom in hand, so this is basically a showcase of a Phantom Blaster Overlord deck. So apologies for that, but this video is mainly to showcase Gaia. So I do use a Therefore here to go for the Bisao to draw one card. And getting the 5k boost there is quite useful to push for damage given that he's already at 4. So now I'm most likely going through my drop zone and my hand size to actually search if there's any more Phantom Blaster, because Phantom Blasters are hitting for 13k, and with the 10k buff it'll be hitting for 23k, and it will be a magic number. So I can't commit the boost there. So I'll be swinging with the Phantom Blaster Overload unboosted, which is just a 5k gun. And he does guard it because he have to, because he's already at 4. And I'll be using the Phantom Blaster Overload here to actually retire the Great Tree again. And then again, he's going to retire his Vicious Claw once again, which will get one hand back to hand. And actually that's a 20k shoes, which he actually mocked me with. So I do call the Blaster Duck there, and the Blaster Duck will be Superior Caught. And I do counter blast one to actually retire further with Blaster Duck, but he does have a Zealous Horn Dragon behind and he retires it. And an RPG is forced out. I do need to open a crit here to make sure that all my attacks have to be guarded, and I do open a crit here, but that's about it. So it's going to be hitting for just a 15 and 20k guard, which is actually pretty weak in my opinion, especially on a Force deck, but probably because I was playing Force 2. But Force 2 allows me to actually damage deny him this much, but Gaia alone on Accel 1 does a lot. So as you can see, this will most likely be the final turn for me. He'll be swinging the Mega Rex first. No, he'll be swinging the Sonic Noah first, which will be hitting for a 20k guard right off the bat. And I can't afford to eat any damage trigger here, so this most likely the end for me. So he's swinging the Gaia first because Gaia doesn't have any counter blast to work with to actually gouge anything, so just be a 70k attack. And in my opinion, this is actually pretty weird to guard, but most likely I should have guarded with the intercept. Basically intercept with the Blaster Duck there for one pass and hope for the best. And I do throw a consent right off the bat there, and that's a misplay in my opinion. And that's open a huge trigger there, which will further push him, which will further push the damage he can have. And because of Sonic Noah, he is able to gauge the front unit, which allows Gaia to actually give the 10k buff to him. And then he's retiring my Blaster Duck there with the Slicing Dragon, and then I am not able to guard this, and I'm most likely going to eat the damage here, and I do into a Neymar, and this is it. Thank you for watching till the end, and if you do like the content, do drop a like and comment, and do consider subscribing.